Good evening, one and all present here. I am Tapsi Baiju, a student of 43rd batch of National Child Development Council. First of all, I would like to thank Shakila ma'am for giving me an opportunity to host this program. Ncdc is a self-governing national child welfare organization established to promote women and child welfare and ensure child education in India. To promote scientific and psychologically molded child education on par with international standards and specifications, various recognized courses are being conducted under the auspices of National Child Development Council, New Delhi. We are conducting many webinars for the public. Today, our webinar is on metabolic disorders and its management through diet. Let's start our program with prayer. I would like to invite Indu ma'am for prayer song.
Aaron, please stand up for the prayer song. അമ്മയ്ക്കും അച്ഛനും ആദ്യ പ്രണാമം, ആചാര്യന്മാർക്കു സൂര്യപ്രണാമം, ചങ്ങാതിമാർക്കും മറ്റുള്ളവർക്കൊക്കെയും മംഗളം നിറയുന്ന സ്നേഹപ്രണാമം, സർവശ്രേഷ്ഠാവാം ജഗദീശ പ്രണാമം. മാനവ ജന്മ പിറവിക്കോ നന്ദി, നന്മുനപ്പാലിൻ കരുണയ്ക്കോ നന്ദി, താലോലമാട്ടിയ കൈകൾക്കും നന്ദി, താരാട്ടുപാട്ടിനും കൂട്ടിനും നന്ദി, അക്ഷരപ്പൂവിലെ തേനിനു നന്ദി, അറ്റമില്ലാത്തോരറിവിനു നന്ദി, മോഹങ്ങൾ തിരിനീട്ടും പുലരിക്കും നന്ദി, സ്നേഹാലയമാമീ പാരിനു നന്ദി. അമ്മയ്ക്കും അച്ഛനും ആദ്യ പ്രണാമം, ആചാര്യന്മാർക്കു സൂര്യപ്രണാമം, ചങ്ങാതിമാർക്കും മറ്റുള്ളവർക്കൊക്കെയും മംഗളം നിറയുന്ന സ്നേഹപ്രണാമം, സർവശ്രേഷ്ഠാവാം ജഗദീശ പ്രണാമം, സർവശ്രേഷ്ഠാവാം ജഗദീശ പ്രണാമം. Thank you.
Thank you, Indu ma'am. Thank you. Next, I would like to invite our Sabida ma'am for welcome speech.
Thank you, Tapsi ma'am. Good evening, one and all present here. My duty is to welcome each one of you attending this program. So first of all, I would like to invite our honorable guest today. He's a person with a mission to improve health and quality of life for those seeks solution beyond medicine. And he is Dr. Satheesh Babu, Bachelor of Naturopathy and Yoga. Hearty welcome, sir, to this program. Next, I would like to welcome Mrs. Jyoti J, Senior Faculty and Circle Coordinator of Focus Fairies. And I am welcoming Jyoti, ma'am. And next, our Senior Faculty of Ncdc, Shakila Wahab. Hearty welcome, ma'am. And next, I am inviting our faculties and students of Ncdc, those who are participating, and all those participants who are eagerly waiting for this wonderful class. Hearty welcome to all. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Sabida ma'am. Now let's invite Jyoti ma'am for presidential address.
Thank you, ma'am. Good evening, one and all. Our chief guest, Dr. Satheesh Babu sir, our senior faculties, Shakila ma'am, Sabida ma'am, and all the dignitaries who are present over here, and our very wonderful students of Ncdc family and all other family members. Today we are eagerly waiting for the solutions for some of our lifestyle diseases, means which we are making through our disorder life and our immature and unnecessary eating habits and food habits. So today our Dr. Satheesh sir is here to give some more good suggestions and instructions to us to avoid a lot of diseases from us without using medicine.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm very thankful to my team members for bringing such a wonderful person for our program. We hope a lot from you, sir, and we are expecting for the wonderful sessions. Thank you all for joining for our function. As you all know, Ncdc is conducting a lot of programs like webinars and all. Ncdc is a self-governing national child welfare organization established to promote women and child welfare and ensure child education in India. To promote scientific and psychologically molded children education, we're introducing a lot of international standards and specifications.
Can you call the lady and ask her whether I should do
Recognized
surgery?
courses we are conducting over
Whether it
here,
would go well or not.
and thus courses differs from CIM TTC to DIM TTC, postgraduate diploma in international Montessori education, and advanced diploma in international Montessori education. And we are having a rapid spoken English course also. Those who all are interested to, those who are eager to develop their language speaking skill. So today we are presenting a wonderful free webinar for all the people, and you can enjoy the session. And I'm once again thanking all of you presented over here. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Jyoti ma'am. Now it's time to welcome our guest, Dr. Satheesh Babu. Please, sir.
Hi, good evening, everyone.
Good evening, sir.
Is it audible to everybody?
Yes, sure, sir.
Clear, yeah? Okay, fine. So thank you so much for having me here. And this is my passion. This is my full long-term mission to create an awareness among the people who are really looking for a solution beyond medicine and who are committed to their own health. That's very important. I always tell to everybody, invest your time more than money, and we can get your health back in your hands more safely, more healthy and optimum. So I would like to start with my PPT presentation, and then from there we will take it forward. And after finishing the session, those who have questions, we will have a separate time for that. You can just note down the details, and then later we'll have a discussion. And I'm going to give you some of the different way of
honestly,
approach.
I don't know. Somebody just sent it to me. It's about metabolic disorder from India. I got this from an Indian unknown number. No, this must be through my keto.
Please mute your phone. Excuse me. Please. Can you please mute your phone?
Can you give me the share screening option?
Yeah, sure, sir. I'll give.
Yeah.
All others, I have a request. Can you please mute your audio? Sir, it is enabled, sir. You can share now.
Okay. Yeah. I hope this is visible to everybody.
Yes, sir.
All right. So now let us briefly go through the metabolic disorders and its management through lifestyle and diet. And we always believe in one thing: our body has its own power to heal itself. And from the birth, we haven't taken any of the medicines or any injections to grow our organs, right? So all that we have taken is the food. So we believe in that food shall be your medicine and medicine shall be your food. So let us understand what is metabolism in brief. So to sustain a life or to maintain a life, you need to have an energy production, and a lot of metabolic chemical reactions happens to maintain ourselves, very healthy or optimum health. So something like a breathing for digestions, and you will have a lot of functions in the body. So everything has to be an optimum to have a good health. Okay, there are two types. One is anabolism, another one is catabolism. Anabolism is nothing but building the larger molecules from a smaller one, especially to build the raw materials for your body needs. And catabolism stands for breaking down of the larger molecules into a smaller one and for the utilization. And all these mechanisms are maintained or mediated by hormones and a lot of enzymes. And insulin is a one important factor which plays a very major role in our metabolism. Okay. So we normally know that there are some nuggles happening in our body, and people are not diagnosed as any particular problem, but they have some kind of elevation in the parameters, especially the blood profile readings, like elevated bad cholesterol, reduced good cholesterol, like HDL. And some people will have the variation in the blood pressure, or some variations in the blood glucose level, or some people start putting on some weight. So a lot of some of the nuggles, and they haven't diagnosed any particular issue, but we can call this as a metabolic syndrome. The person is into a metabolic syndrome, and it's a potential risk factor to lead any particular manifestations. Now let's see, if you get into a manifestation, it will all come under like heart diseases, like ischemic heart diseases, or lipid problems, hypertension, diabetic, number 2, and dementia, cancer, polycystic ovarian diseases, non-alcoholic fatty liver diseases, etc. So these are the manifestations we all come across, and all these issues will have a root level causes. Now let us understand what is the real culprit behind all these metabolic syndrome. Just before that, let me tell you some of the changes which happen in our life or lifestyle, which led us into a lifestyle related diseases. Okay, so there are so many factors which contribute to it. So if I compare to you with our lifestyle from now and 2 or 3 generations behind, you will get a clarity on that. For example, the earlier time, there was no electrical or a mechanical support for our day-to-day lifestyle or our living. And we never had a car. We need to walk. We need to do at least bicycles. We need to grow our own vegetables backyard, and we need to climb the trees. So we need to chop the wood. We need to grind, pound. We need to do everything by ourselves, and we never had to depend on any mechanical things. So basically what is happening, all our lifestyle or the physical activity was very close to the all job what you do, or all your lifestyle was a part of the physical activity. And now let us compare in the modern life what has happened. There is very much inactivity. For example, 8 hours we are in the bed, whether you sleep or not, we are in the bed, right? And add another 8 hours in the office. We are in the sitting or sedentary lifestyle kind of a job, and whatever we are always spending a desk related job, most of them, not everybody, but most of them, and limited physical activity. So almost 16 hours over. And now let us calculate among us how we are contributed to each other sides. For example, for the lunch, breakfast, and dinner, at least 15 minutes we are spending in the dining table, right? And morning tea, afternoon, or 11 o'clock or 4 o'clock tea, all put together at least 1 hour time you are spending in the dining. Okay. And now let us calculate how much time you are spending in the commute or a transportation or going to the office or coming back from the office. You are sitting in the car, whether you drive or not, you are not physically active. And how much time we are spending in the sofa, watching TV, serials, cinema, how much time we are spending in our gadgets like WhatsApp, Facebook, Twitter, or whatever medium you take, we are spending a lot of time. At least for every update, we are spending a few seconds. So imagine 100 times if you do that, it is calculated as hours. So we are spending a lot of time by inactive. So this is the changes from olden days to now in the lifestyle we have, changed or shifted. Now let us see about the food. Food, earlier time we didn't have much of, packed food or canned food or anything. Every food were very simple and didn't have any coloring agents or preservatives or any kind of synthetic sugars or no confectionaries, nothing. All were very simple and freshly prepared and freshly had. But now you see everything is available in our like a one touch. So everything is in an everyday business. For example, we consume a lot of sugars, fatty food, processed food, canned food, packed food, and all the less fiber items like more of maida, more sugar consumption, and a lot of bakery items. So everything is in the picture on an everyday basis, and less of like polyunsaturated fatty food and less microbial diversity. What is happening? We know that our body has a lot of bacterial cells. We say that bacterial megagenome. That is a part of our gut. So we should have a friendly bacterial flora, and we will also have the unfriendly bacterial flora. So the right diversity will keep us in an optimum health. But if you have any imbalances in that, that can also lead to a lot of diseases. Okay. And of course, there are a lot of smoking or pollutants around us, and high stressful situation like personal stress, family stress, official stress, less time with the nature, less physical activity. So all put together are one of the major reasons to have all these lifestyle related diseases. And one important good factor here is it is all reversible. It is possible to reverse all kind of lifestyle related diseases when given an opportunity. Now let's see what is the real culprit behind all these metabolic disorders. Visceral fat. The fat which accumulated in your intra-abdominal area. Okay. What is happening? This area doesn't have the capacity to expand. So it's something like you are filling the water in a bottle, glass bottle or a glass bottle. It cannot expand beyond an extent. So what is happening? That will release a lot of adipokine kind of chemicals, which are normally releases some toxicity, which can attack the normal cellular structure, and that can lead to insulin resistance. So this is one of the major reason for the all kind of lifestyle related ailments. Now there is a thing called toffee, thin outside and fat inside. Toffee and Indian paradox. So many people used to ask me, doctor, this person is very lean, he doesn't have any fat, but he has diabetes, he has cardiac problems, he has a fatty liver, he has she has a polycystic ovarian disease, so a lot more. Why it is so? So toffee is nothing but the person looks thin outside and fat inside. And if the person has this infiltration of macrophages, all this accumulation of the bad fat in the belly area, intra-abdominal area, he has the chances to get any of these disorders. So basically happening all the macrophages infiltration to the adipocytes, and they release some pro-inflammatory cytokines, and there will be like a war kind of inflammation basically. Okay. So I was saying that the insulin resistance in the first page, you can see insulin response. And normally to get one glucose to get into a cell, you need the help of insulin. Okay. So there is a insulin receptors in every cells. So insulin will go and open the door and allow the glucose to get inside. That is a normal mechanisms. So what is happening because of the belly fat or intra-abdominal fat, there is any resistance forming and the insulin is not able to act and allow the glucose to get inside. Okay, so this is what the insulin resistance in simple way. So there are a lot of research gates, they have explained and they correlated with all these metabolism pathways and everything. So they said no non-alcoholic fatty liver diseases and its connection with insulin resistance, dyslipidemia, atherosclerosis, and coronary heart diseases. Okay, so what is happening in the liver? The glucose elevation will happen, free fatty acid will elevate, lipolysis will happen, insulin will go up. So it can lead to oxidative stress and inflammation, and all our parameters like a C-reactive protein and all the plasma glucose, free fatty acid, everything will elevate. VLDL, LDL, bad cholesterol, everything will elevate, and our HDL will go down. And that parameters, when it is all impaired, that can lead to diabetes or atherosclerosis. So there are some studies I'll be showing you. They claim that the low HDL level, that means the good cholesterol deficiency is one of the important factor and which can lead to all myocardial infarctions, all the heart attack. Some of the major studies they have shown low HDL is also very important contributing factor for the heart attack. These are some of the other explanations. So finally, all this manifestation, to just the recap: diabetes, non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, hypertriglyceridemia, PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome or disease, obesity, ischemic heart diseases. All these are one of the manifestation, one of the main major manifestation from insulin resistance or belly fat, or you can say metabolic, all the visceral fat accumulation can lead to all these issues. Now you see PubMed, there are some research papers, they have correlated with this pathway. High carbohydrate diet induce hepatic insulin resistance to protect the liver from the substrate overload. So high carbohydrate diet contribute to the association between hepatic steatosis, insulin resistance through activation of transcription factors, carbohydrate receptor binding protein. And there are a lot of researchers, they show endocrine reviews, Oxford Academic, insulin resistance and the polycystic ovarian diseases. American Diabetic Association, they also correlated insulin resistance and type 2 diabetes. And Biochemical Society transaction. So this paper, they are clearly mentioned. There is a developing of metabolic disturbances is not related to how much fat one individual has, but how well their fat can expand to accommodate the caloric excess. So we already said the intra-abdominal area cannot have the expanding capacity. So there will be a metabolic disturbances that can lead to all this insulin resistance. Insulin resistance and NAFLD. NAFLD means non-alcoholic fatty liver diseases. A lot of research papers, even Journal of Clinical Investigation, Obesity and Insulin Resistance, American Diabetic Association, that visceral fat, adipokine secretion is associated with systemic inflammation in obese humans. See, they've done that. High accumulation of fat in the abdominal cavity was associated with the cluster of metabolic disturbances such as insulin resistance, hyperinsulinemia, glucose intolerances, and hypertriglyceridemia, small dense that LDL, okay, lipoprotein, and as well as low HDL cholesterol. So always just mark the word low HDL is not healthy. So always try to keep the HDL in good range. And same thing, there are a lot of other things coming on. So I'm just quickly rushing through. See, macrophage secreted factors induce adipocyte inflammation and insulin resistance. Another important factor, we know that LDL is bad cholesterol, and there is something called VLDL. That means small LDL. Okay. So in this research, American Heart Association, so they are saying the small LDL, that means VLDL, has more, the pattern is more having increased risk of subsequently developing IHD in men. IHD means ischemic heart disease. So for the men group, the small LDL having 3 times more risk than the LDL. That's what this American Heart Association, the Circulation Journal of American Heart Association, have done a research on that. I'll just give you the clarity on that. So you see, this is the normal LDL. This LDL composed of 1600 cholesterol and 250 triglycerides. So this is a normal LDL. Now let us see what is the small LDL. In the small LDL, the cholesterols are less and triglycerides are more. Okay, so this is the variation. And you see here in the pattern A, 130 milligram per deciliter, and the same quantity on the pattern B, 130 mg per deciliter. But you see the pattern on your A pattern, there's a bigger size, but only 5 in numbers, and the right side 9 in number, but the size is small. So what the last slide was showing, this particular pattern have the higher risk for the ischemic heart diseases. So you should also make sure to look at the parameters of VLDL pattern. Okay, that's all. See here, there is a French paradox lesson for all other countries. This is a very important study, British Medical Journal. So this study shows that they have observed very low coronary heart disease death rates despite of having high intake of dietary cholesterol and saturated fat. We all been having a myth, the saturated fats are very bad, right? In this study, you see, they are saying that increased dietary cholesterol and saturated fat has reduced the death rates in the cardiac diseases. Okay. Now let us see a comparative study between French paradox and Indian. Let us see what is the food pattern they use. The protein is 20%. Their fat intake is 40%. Their carbohydrate intake is 40%. Okay, just note down 20, 40, 40. Okay, and their HDL always strong, above 50. And you see the cardiovascular death, 150 death for 1 lakh population. In 1 lakh population, 150 people are dying from cardiovascular diseases. And you see the diabetes, 4 people in 100 population or 100 people. Okay. Now let us compare with the Indian paradox. In India, generally, if you take, we all having 5% of protein, fat 10%, carbohydrate 85%. A huge carbohydrate we are consumed, right? And you see our HDL level below 40. Okay. And our cardiovascular deaths, 400 deaths in 1 lakh population. And diabetes, 16 out of 100. You see the changes? Cardiovascular, here it is 150 and here it is 400. Now you can see how many times more. And diabetes, you see 4 and 16. So that means there is something wrong in the pattern of food, what we eat, right? They're having 20% of protein, 40% of fat, carbohydrate 40. And we have 5% of protein, 10% of fat, carbohydrate 5%. So there is something wrong. So we are overwhelming our carbohydrate intake. We know that carbohydrates are annajam, we say in Malayalam, all the rice, wheat, and all, etc. CHO. Okay. So that we will discuss later. So we got a comparative study. We understood and realized there is something wrong in our food pattern. Now let us see what are the root causes for the visceral fat and insulin resistance. The number one reason is excess calorie intake. We are all having excess calories on our day-to-day life. Second, westernized pattern of nutrition, like high in refined sugars and oil. So the consumption of refined oils, especially the vegetable oils, and high sugar, synthetic sugars, and its related products and oils. So these are the another culprit. Third one, sedentary lifestyle and physical inactivity. So these are the main root level causes for us to get into metabolic syndrome, that start from the obesity, and finally we'll get the manifestation or get diagnosed as a lot of related diseases, like it could be diabetes, hypertension, fatty liver diseases, cardiovascular diseases, all these related issues. Okay. Now, how to manage the metabolic syndrome? We need to manage our weight. We need to manage our blood glucose levels. We need to bring a balance in our lipid profile. We need to address the insulin resistance. That means we need to knock out the belly fat. Okay. And methods, lifestyle modifications. And here at Ayushmat, we focus on detox by therapeutic fasting and therapeutic high-fat diet, therapeutic yoga training, intermittent exercise training. Okay, so these are the methods through which one can achieve or reverse the metabolic disorders in a gradual run. We always say that there is no shortcut. If you are ready to take the charge of your health, then it is possible for you to transform your health. Now, there are some recommendations from our side, from a dietary pattern. We recommend to go for the low carbohydrate diet, high fat diet, moderate protein diet. Okay, this is number one recommendation. Second, we must maintain a healthy omega-3 and 6 ratio. Earlier, see, we supposed to have omega-3 and omega-6 ratio 1:1. That is the healthiest one. Unfortunately, because of our modern urbanized living habits, our omega-6 consumption through the food is so high, and which led us to almost like imbalance 1:50 approximate, that much variation has come. Okay, deficiency in omega-3 and overwhelming of the omega-6. So that is also very important to bring it back to the balance. I'm going to give you some detailed slides about it later. Then third recommendations are prebiotics or soluble fiber intake. So I'll show you what is the importance of soluble fibers in our diet. Okay. Fourth one is the probiotic. That means I will tell you there are food which is helping you to increase your quantity of or balancing your friendly bacterial flora in your gut. Okay. Because gut is our second brain. Okay. Gut produces a lot of bacteria, like friendly bacterial flora. So they, especially like a serotonin, is 90% prepared in the gut actually, and later that will transport to the brain, and it's a happy hormone. And finally, we suggest some of the herbal supplementation if required. And those who are into a disease category till they get into a reversal form, we take the help of some of the herbal supplements if required. Now, coming back to the some of the studies, the non-alcoholic fatty liver diseases, fructose and the sugars are the major mediators. Okay, there are some of the research papers I will show you later. See, this is our typical Indian meals, right? So here you can see almost 85% we are into carbohydrates. We are also having hydrogenated oil, fried vada, and sugar, high consumption of sugars through the rasgulla, or all that kind of sweetness, and all the liquid kind of side dishes. It doesn't have any other things actually. It's only to add the flavor to the rice we add it, and you see a little purial kind of thing, and a little dal is taken. So majority we are into carbohydrate. We eat normally rice with the sambar, rice with the rasam, rice with the curd. There are different way we all consume. And many people tell me like, doctor, I don't have any kind of rice much. But we have only dosas or idlis in the morning. But you should always remember, even dosa or idli, whatever you make, puttu, dosh, anything you make, they are all carbohydrates. They're all made out of rice, right? So that is also to be considered. Now, let's see, a grass-fed cow, actually the grass fat is only 0.1% and milk fat is 4%. So what is happening? The cow, after having the grass converted, and then, when they produce the milk, they will have 4%. So there is a processing happening inside. The same way, whatever you consume as a carbohydrate, they are all considered as a grains. It will all come under grains. All these grains converts into visceral fat. They start accumulating from the abdomen, and then later on that will spread on to the every part of your body. So when you go for a weight reduction, every time you can see the weight reduction begins from the extremities, and finally you will have to tackle the belly fat. So carbohydrate, again, see there are glucose activated transcription factor involved in the development of metabolic syndrome. So the liver is a one organ which will convert whatever you consume the carbohydrate, they will store it as a fat. The liver is the major organ responsible for converting excess dietary carbohydrate to lipid storage. See, another important study from American Journal of Clinical Nutrition. This is very important. Earlier time, the chronic liver diseases was almost always due to alcohol intake or viral infections or hepatobiliary conditions. But now, a leading cause of all the chronic elevation in the liver enzyme, you would have seen liver function test. If you take, there is something called SGPT, SGOT, all these enzymes are a little variated. That means there is something wrong in your liver that can lead to NAFLD, non-alcoholic fatty liver diseases. So fructose utilization, yeah, a lot of things. We'll just move on. So the management of reversing metabolic disorders, we recommend high fat diet, okay? And then comes protein and then carbohydrate. But this we will not recommend you to just blindly follow at home. It should be done under a proper guidelines from a proper expert or a doctor, okay? You don't try, because when you go through this kind of fat diet, you will see some of the healing crisis, and a lot of, when your body getting tuned to that, you will come across with a lot of crisis. So to manage that, you need an expert advice for that. So please don't do it at home, but you could manage the metabolic disorders with this particular proportion. You can increase your fat intake 45%, reduce your carbohydrate into 45%, and be a balanced protein with a 10%. So again, you will see a gradual changes in your metabolism, and you will see some results in that. But you need to have a patience. You need to have a very good commitment and willpower. If you really start working on with this pattern, we can definitely assure you a good transformation in the long run. Okay. So far I was telling you about high fat, high fat, high fat. I always call it as healing fat. Okay. So what we normally having in our body as a fat is not the fat what I'm talking to. Okay. I'm going to talk about the good fat. Okay. We call healing fat. So I'm going to give you a little bit explanation and some classifications and what kind of food which can support you to increase your fat, and also some research papers we'll discuss. So to give you a brief idea based on the chemical structure, carbon molecule, the carbon structure, it can classify into short chain fatty acid, medium chain fatty acid, long chain fatty acids. okay, and very long chain fatty acids. That's another extension mode. But just remember this: short chain, medium chain, and long chain. Okay, and don't worry about the carbon chain and all. Just I give you some hints about it. And there is one more classifications you would have already heard about: saturated fat and unsaturated fat. Saturated fats are solid in structure. That means it's solid and also doesn't have any double bond. So what it means, it doesn't have any chemical instability when you heat. Okay, so it is strong and stable in nature. Okay, normally in all what the animal like chicken or all the mutton, of all the fats what you see, it's in solid structure, right? And butter, ghee, and all cheese, all these are like comes under saturated fat. Okay, they're stable even if you heat. Okay, doesn't have any negative chemical reactions, or it doesn't harm you. That's all. Unsaturated fatty acid has a double bonds. Okay, so it is not stable when you heat. Okay, and there is something called mono unsaturated. There is something called poly unsaturated. There's nothing to worry. This is simple based on the double bond. If it is as one single bond, it is called mono unsaturated. If you have multiple double bonds, then that is called polyunsaturated. Okay, now just forget about this. Now I'll just come to the exact applied useful tips for you. So let us talk about short chain fatty acid. What is short chain fatty acid and how it is made in our gut, and how can we support through the food? Now, you know that there are different fibers, right? We all have the vegetables and green leafy vegetables, fruits, all this having a lot of fibers, and which is healthy, everything. Yeah. But in terms of short chain fatty acids, actually speaking, these short, what you call prebiotics, we can say prebiotic fiber, okay, or soluble fiber, when you consume, that will go down to the chamber of colon and get fermented. After fermented, that will release short chain fatty acids, which is the food for the bacteria living in the colon. Got it? I'll repeat once again. The soluble fibers, when you consume, that will go into the deeper side of the colon and get fermentation. After fermentation, they will release the short chain fatty acid. Short chain fatty acid, the chemical name like butyrate, propionate, acetate, all these things. So they are the food for the bacteria. That means to have a proper diversion of friendly bacterial flora in your gut, you need to provide a lot of prebiotic fiber in your diet. That's all. Okay. So this is done. Now, I was saying from the beginning, we have a lot of bacterial cells and everything. So it is true that we are 50% human and we are the slaves of the bugs. I'll show you. This is our gut, right? After the mouth, it continues as a muscular bag called stomach. And then finally, again, it will continue as a small intestine. In that area, there is something called duodenum, jejunum, ileum. That's where the absorption will happen. And then small intestine will continue as a large intestine. And finally ends at the rectum. The small intestine, if you stretch open, it is about, I can say, 20 feet long. And the large intestine is about 5 feet long. Okay. Now, if you take 1 ml of fluid from your stomach and check, you can see 1,000 bacterial cells or bacteria. Okay. And if you check 1 ml of fluid from your proximal end of your small intestine, you can see 5,000 bacteria. And if you check your distal end of your small intestine, you can see 10,000 bacteria. And if you check your colon, the large intestine, you will see 1 million diversity of bacteria. This is how our body designed. Okay. And there's a what you call mega genome of this microbiota. They contribute to your optimum health. It has a rich role actually. Now, I'll just briefly give you one tips here. See, many people are into digestive disorders, right? Like IBS, the IBS, irritable bowel syndrome. And some people, like soon after they have food, either they will just go to toilet and they will have a diarrhea kind of experience or something. They always say this food is not suiting for me, something wrong. Some people will have a diarrhea kind of things. Some people will be leading to a constipated IBS, or it can be anything else. From this only one example I'm giving you. Any kind of digestive is one of the root level causes, even up to the autoimmune disorders. You can just Google gut health. You can just get all the studies and the details. But I'll just give you a points here. One reason is, see, we know that colon has 1 million, that means 10 lakhs of bacteria in the colon. Okay, but whereas when it comes to the small intestine, in the distal part only 10,000, proximal part is only 5,000, and stomach only 1,000. So there is a particular proportion. They are supposed to be in that particular ratio. So what is happening? All these microbacterial thing, like there's something called SIBO, small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. That means the unfriendly bacterial flora, they are just, they're numbering more and more, and they will try to migrate towards the upper part of your digestive system. So when they migrate towards the upper area, there will be a lot of imbalances in your functional aspects. Okay, so that is one of the root level causes for major issues related to the digestive system. Okay, so this is just one seed I thought of putting into your thoughts. So you can just further research on that. So always we need to make sure there is a right diversity of the bacterial or microbiota in your gut. Okay, so that's very important to keep you healthy. Now, I was talking about fibers, insoluble fibers and soluble fibers. Insoluble fibers are like rice, wheat, ragi, cereals, like vegetables, dark green leafy vegetables, and all those things, right? They are basically cellulose. They are good. They will, they will add as a bulk, and they will try to pull out all the things. After the digestion completes, once the absorption done, and whatever things unwanted, they will try to pull it out. Okay, and I was also saying about the prebiotic fiber or soluble fibers. They are three different categories. One is soluble, viscous, gel forming, non-fermented fibers. Okay, one example I'll give you is isabgol. It is called psyllium husk. Okay, so two important, because of lack of time, I'm not going to detail fully, but two important applied tips I can give you from isabgol. They are good to reduce the cholesterol levels. Second, this is one of the best to prevent from colon cancer. Okay, I'll also add some of the research studies towards that. Okay, this is a two important applied things for that. Second category, soluble, non-viscous, readily fermented inulin. Inulin is one of the example, but a lot of other vegetables I'll be giving you the slides. So this is very important. Inulin, I told the prebiotic fiber will go down to the chamber of colon and ferment and release the short chain fatty acid. They are the food for the good bacteria. Okay, to have a balance in the good bacterial flora. So inulin, one of the important thing, the short chain fatty acid for the bad breath. You would have seen many people have a bad breath problems. Okay, you give a lot of good soluble fibers in the diet, especially the inulin is a supplement way we use, like a prebiotic powder actually for the people. We have seen along with the diet, along with our prescribed diet, this inulin is enriched. We can see a very good reduction in the bad breath. There's a volatile sulfur compound. That releases a gas, and that's why because of the bad bacterial issue only this problem coming. We can 100% treat almost 100, whatever the cases we got a very nice positive results to it. Okay, there's one tips from that. And of course, soluble, viscous, gel forming, readily fermented, like oats, barley, all these are also rich in soluble fiber. Now I'll show you some of the slides. See, I was saying, this is the pathway. You can see the bile acids will be released to the small intestine, and then it is reabsorbed from the small intestine, and some will be left out there. That will be stuck in the colon area. So if it is too much there standing, those who have a constipation, that is a potential inducer for the colon cancer. That's all. It is not that everybody gets a colon cancer, but a potential chances. That's what the research also says. Okay. So when you consume you can see the blue color one, when you consume the isabgol or the psyllium husk, that will try to pull it out. They will bind with this bile salts and pull it through the bowel movement. It will flush out, and that can help you. See some of the research studies, stem cell research and therapy. So they have done a research, and they are saying bile acid a potential inducer for colon cancer. You see surgical oncology from BMC, they also correlated. They said secondary bile acids, an under recognized cause for the colon cancer. Now psyllium husk is a wonder food for the good health, for the constipation. You see these research studies, you can see 7% reduction in the LDL cholesterol and a significant reduction in the ratio of lipoprotein A and B. So this is American Journal of Clinical Nutrition. They have arrived at a conclusion that psyllium husk can reduce 7% of the bad cholesterol in your bloodstream. And see, these are some of the example soluble fibers: barley, oats, beans, figs, prunes, sweet potatoes, all very good. So you can consume all these things more in quantity and try to bring it on day-to-day basis, at least some of them. And you can see another like onions, guava, you can see passion fruit, bindi and cauliflower, a lot of other vegetables and fruits, citrus. You see there is a commonality. I can just give you a tip. All these things have something like a sticky nature, right? The bindi, if you cut, you can see a little sticky thing, right? And when passion fruit or guava, you touch inside, or onions, sticky. So all these kind of things are very rich in prebiotic, okay, fiber. Okay, so consume all these things nicely. Guava also vitamin C. And another list of prebiotic foods are like tomatoes, artichokes, onions, garlics, chicory, dandelion greens, asparagus leeks, and flax seeds, legumes, bananas. But all these pulses, try to always sprout it out. Why you need to sprout it out? The carbohydrate, the complex sugar will convert into simple sugar. Fat become fatty acid, and the protein become amino acid. Simple. So easy to absorb also. Okay. These are one of the superfoods like gorgum, flax seeds, basil seeds, and banana flour. The flour is very good actually. Okay, so you can increase all those. That's all some of the applied, some of the tips I could give from short chain fatty acid. So all I wanted to tell you is try to increase the soluble fiber in your diet and try to help your friendly bacterial flora in your gut. That's one tip from there. Second, fats are medium chain fatty acids. Okay, carbon number 6, 8, 10, and 12. See, the coconut is one of the richest medium chain fatty acid. Okay, in every form. You can have a grated coconut aceties. You can use coconut oil. You can use coconut milk. You can use in every form. Okay, why? Because they are very rich in lauric acid. Almost 62% of the, the coconut has lauric acid. Actually, lauric acid is rich in mother's milk. Okay, mother's milk is very rich in lauric acid, and after that, only coconut has one of the richest lauric acid, percentage in as a food. Okay, it is good for the skin, hair, stress, weight loss, immunity, infection, digestion, diabetes, heart attack, and everything. Yeah. So this also say MCT. MCT means medium chain triglycerides. Okay. In abroad, they don't use the coconut as such. They use a supplement called MCT or MCT oils. You can see the monolaurin, they will say. I'll show you some of the slides. Okay, so the lauric acid is so rich in coconut. See this monolaurin or immune defense, monolaurin, and all these products, it's available in online also. You can see Google, what do you call, Amazon, you can check it. They are all high expensive supplements actually in America, and they use all this way. But it is easily available in our country or in our area, and try to consume so much of coconut. It is very healthy. So the research, see one of the research you can see, the last research says that Manila University, they've done that it is a good antiviral, that's it. And this particular research, they says weight loss diet that includes consumption of medium chain triglycerides oil leads to greater rate of weight and fat mass loss than olive oil. They have done a research, and they're highly recommending coconut into the diet or MCT oil. It is helping you to lose the weight. Coconut oil, there are a lot of studies, like more than 1,500 published studies. They say that healthiest food in the planet. And why? Because 62% of medium chain triglycerides. Okay. And the important point, they cannot be stored as fat. They will be burned by the body as a fuel. Okay. So how much ever you have, don't worry, you will not get cholesterol. Don't worry. Okay. Like LDL, or it will not, have any direct connection in that. You can easily have it. It doesn't store it as a fat. Okay. And it is good for your thyroid function, appetite, fat loss, skin, scalp, everything. And very important point here is, this is one of the best oil for cooking. Why? Because it can heat up to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, and it has a stability. It doesn't change the chemical structure. So it is really, really good. Okay. And so that's all about my contribution towards the medium chain fatty acid. And now let's see about the long chain fatty acid. In the long chain fatty acid, I would like to mainly focus on I was saying about omega-3 and omega-6. The ratio is very important to be maintained. Okay. Why? Because I'll just give you some tips here. See, our mitochondria, cell wall, nucleus wall, all made of fat. Okay. So we must have good fat food. Each cell has a omega-3 and omega-6 receptors. Okay, imagine your one room is considered as a cell, and there are two doors. One is omega-6, omega-3, another one. So what is happening? These free radicals, see, whatever your energy production happening at the cellular level, there will be residues, right? Or metabolic end products, a lot of free radical formation as a part of our metabolism. And that can that causes the oxidation of omega-6. For example, whatever you consume more of omega-6 rich food, what will happen? You are having more of omega-6 and less omega-3. So what will happen if you have more of omega-3? That will go for an oxidation, and can lead to aldehyde formation. You can check aldehyde formation, how is important, soluble, and it can go up to the DNA and can also lead to DNA damage. That much very strong toxicity for the body. That's it. So what is the importance of omega-3 and omega-6? They all act as signaling molecules in our body. And you see, this is very important slides. I was talking about omega-3 and omega-6 ratio. It's supposed to be 1:1, right? See, you can see on the left-hand side, earlier times, the ratio was 1:1. Why? Because we all been, having a healthy meal plan. See, we all have the milk. The cows were having grass-fed. All the cows were grass-fed, and they were having the milk which is healthy again. And we used to have country chickens, and even the eggs were like the country eggs. and all mixed diversity of good fruits and nuts, seeds, and fishes, dark green leafy vegetables, and all fresh nuts. All these were very part of our normal routine. And we never had the influence of the modern food habits. Okay, so more or less our omega-3, omega-6 were in balance. The main reason omega-6 rich food were very minimal or never been used. That is why the 1:1 ratio was perfectly balanced. And now you see on right hand side, now the ratio is 1:50. Why? Because nowadays, whatever the milk is produced, all from synthetic artificial food, all the cows are fed with the synthetic food. Okay, all the hormone, influenced foods to have them more productions. And we all have into, aerated drinks like a Coca-Cola, all kind of such things. It's like, it's highly acidic actually, 2.6. So all these, aerated drinks come to our life. And once in a while, at least we all into the like a modern enjoyment fun time, and lot of fried food, packed food, lot of grains consumption, lot of grains like rice or wheat, like chapati, so much biryani, mandi, like a lot of things we are all indulged with, and a lot of usage of vegetable oils. This is very important. If you go to any hotels, everything made of vegetable oils. You can see that no one uses the coconut oils. Why? Because it is not viable for them, right? The vegetable oils are available cheaper. Even if you go to any hypermarket, you can see there are a lot of offers. Sometimes 1 liter packet, if you buy, there will be another packet given free. So they are just highly pumping into the people, so that people also easily available, and it is affordable, and there is no aroma kind of thing, so they all enjoy it. It's all refined ones. Yeah, so the consumption of all this vegetable oils are too much in the modern life, especially the hotel foods. And also I'm sure every home will have the gold winner or all these vegetable oils, like a sunflower oils, at least in India. So all these consumptions are too much, and omega-3 is less. So our ratio is very much imbalanced. So this is the two understanding I would like to give it to you. Now you see, I would like to give another important slides. Everybody asked me which is the right oil for heating. Now this slide can decide, or you can decide which one is healthy. You see, coconut oil is here, butter is there, extra virgin olive oil is here, corn oil is there, and sunflower. Okay, and you see, if you heat 10 minutes or 20 minutes or 30 minutes, what is happening in the first one? You see the coconut oil, even if you heat it 30 minutes, it is not even gone beyond 0.4 or 0.5 or 0.6, whereas your sunflower oil is gone beyond 5. Can you see that? So heating the vegetable oil is not healthy. Coconut oil is one of the safest oil in the planet for using, especially for heating, okay, cooking and everything. And also it's rich in lauric acid. Butter is very good. Now you see, omega-3 burns the liver fat. So if you have a liver fat problem, liver fat issues, you increase the omega-6 and reduce the omega-6. Omega-6 induce fat accumulation in the liver. Okay, so this is one important point we note down. See, omega-6%, sunflower 70%, corn oil 60%, cottonseed oil 55%, soybean oil 53%, coconut oil omega-6% is only negligible 2%, ghee and butter 3%. You got it? See, all these things are omega-6 rich. I'll be giving you some details about that. Can someone unmute and tell me, is it, see, time is already 8:15. Is it okay for continuing? Hello?
Hello, sir.
Is it okay to continue because the time is just 8:15? Can I continue a few more slides?
I think we need interactive session also, no?
Yeah, but otherwise, it will be in a half-cooked version. So I'll just run it through. Okay, I'll brush it up.
Okay, no problem, sir. No problem, sir.
I will request
Please continue.
Oh,
Yes,
thank
yes.
you. Thank you.
Information is more important.
Yeah,
Yes,
I
sir.
think this is a little complicated version. I am trying to simplify it for you.
No problem.
Any
sir.
doubts? We'll clear it later. Okay.
Yes,
Thank
yes.
you. Thank you.
Afterwards. Okay. Okay.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
thank
sir.
you.
You
Thank
can continue.
So in this slide, you can see the omega-6 and saturated fat percentage. You see the butter, omega-6 is very less. So that means it's good. Saturated fat is healthy and it is rich in 63% in the butter. Coconut oil, you see, omega-6 is only 1%, but saturated fat is so rich. It is healthy. You see the olive oil, or forget, olive oil is good actually, but only problem, you should not heat it up. You can use it as a top up for all the salads and things like that. But don't cook it in olive oil. That is not safe. But you see sunflower oil, omega-6 is so rich, so unhealthy, and saturated percentage is so less, so poor. So you got an idea which is healthy, which is unhealthy. Yeah. So vegetable oils contain toxic chemical linked to cancer and brain degeneration, say scientists. Yeah. So basically, my advice is to avoid all the vegetable oils as much as possible and be safe. The major dietary shift happens just 100 years ago. After we started consuming industrialized oil, processed food, packed food, high in sugar consumption, high carbohydrate intake in our diet. And these are like I used to show to my guest, there are like a high heat cooking oils options, low cooking. That's all. And some vegan people, some of the references. Let's move on. See, this is very important study. Non-alcoholic fatty liver diseases. A clinical review says that the main causes and for NAFLD, okay, is consumption of vegetable oil containing omega-6 fatty acids such as linoleic acid is the most effective way to induce fatty liver. That means consumption of vegetable oil can lead to fatty liver disease. And you see down the blue color, saturated fat reverse NAFLD, non-alcoholic fatty liver diseases. Sugar, particularly fructose, also causes NAFLD. So high sugar consumption is very dangerous. That lead to fatty liver diseases. Omega-3 fats and medium chain fatty acids are beneficial for the fatty liver diseases. There's a lot of results. It's a promising treatment for omega-3 fatty acids are a promising treatment for non-alcoholic fatty liver diseases. So you can see this study, comparison. What oil is rich in omega-3? What oils are rich in omega-6? We understood omega-3 has to be increased, omega-6 has to be reduced. So you can decide which one is good. Now, I was telling, see, in a cellular level, if you think, I was telling there is two doors. One is omega-6, one is another omega-3 door, right? So what happened, that there should be an inflammation. For example, you will have a BP. Everyone has a BP, but the blood pressure is gone beyond the range, beyond the boundaries due to any secondary reason, then you are into hypertension, right? Something like every cell will have an inflammatory period and an anti-inflammatory period. So that should be there for the metabolism, right? And what is happening in our diet? If you consume omega-6 rich food, your inflammatory period will be too much. So inflammatory period is something like, they release two series of prostaglandin and leukotrienes. They are imagine like an accelerator, okay? And omega-3 act as an anti-inflammatory. They act as a braking system in your car, okay? So if it is in a 1:1 ratio, so, they will have a proper control and proper balance for the this particular periods, okay? And omega-3 also has a content called resolving and protecting. They are helping to have a resolution period. All the residues will try to cleanse it out from the cellular level, okay? So that is why the EPA, DHA, it is written in the combination, pentanoic acid, hexanoic acid and all. So if you see any omega-3 bottles, the capsule supplements, you can see that EPA, DHA, that is the importance of that, okay? So now you understood, if you have overwhelming or overindulgence in the omega-6 kind of food, what will happen? Inflammatory period is too much, that can even damage all the cellular level, because our braking system is deficient because of that. You got an idea, no? That is why to have a optimum health and optimum cellular functional aspects, you need to have a proper omega-3, omega-6 ratio. Got it? Now we'll see what is the benefits of omega-3. They are called good eicosanoids. They prevent clots, blood clots. They cause opening up all the blood vessels, reduces the pain, decreases the cell division, enhances the immune system, improves the brain functions. So these are the importance of omega-3. Okay. Now you see omega-6, what is they call bad eicosanoids. They promote blood vessel clots, clot formation, causes closing of the blood vessels because of the clot formation, increases the pain, increases the cell division, suppresses the immune system, suppresses or depresses the brain functions. So you understood now which is healthy, what to do, how to do. Of course, there are a lot of studies effects of omega-3 fatty acid, immune cells, and I'm just moving through because of the time. So that is the one importance of that. Okay. So third recommendation was probiotic food or fermented foods. Why? To increase the good bacterial flora in your gut. Why? Because they are the one of the important area or important thing to keep you an optimum health. The benefits, they increases the good bacterial flora, aid the digestion, improve the bowel movements, they produce beneficial effects of the health, prevent the harmful bacteria from multiplying in the intestine. So this is why you need to give probiotics. Some of the probiotic foods like apple cider vinegar is good, sauerkraut is good, natto, they are not available means not here, but for the broad clients is to suggest. And kombucha. Kombucha is like a black tea. It's fermented using symbiotic colony of bacteria and yeast. Some areas, some they are available actually. So that is good, and especially for us, fermented dairies like yogurt and the buttermilk and butter, cheese, all those things are very good. Especially this dairy, like a yogurt and all those things are more rich in. They're fermented. They're very good. Now, I would like to just show you one slide here. It's very important. Many childhood obesity cases are prominent nowadays. The reason I'll tell you, if it is a breastfed milk, breastfed babies, you see their carbohydrate is only 38% and breast milk fat percentage is 55. So that means high fat diet they're having. Baby cereals, those who are fed with artificial, baby cereal fed, their carbohydrates are too much, 90%, and fat percentage is only 5%. That is one reason the childhood obesities are very common. So just to comprise the management of metabolic disorders like 45, 45, and 10. And we always suggest always detox your body. You have a detoxing organs like liver, and we have a bowel, kidney, all these channels, to flush out the toxins out or the metabolic residues to let out. So everything is good, but help yourself to give an opportunity or a proper support system by having what you call at least a consumption of proper water intake and with a definite period, not to just have it one shot. Always give a spacing. See, for example, many people, you imagine many people I know, when they are thirsty, they will have water, but not otherwise. It's not like that. See, we are losing the water from our body in 24 hours, at least 2.5 liters. So 1.5 liters from your urine and from your sweat and from your expiration. When you exhale, the moisture is going out, and through the skin when you're sweating, and through your bowel movement when you go for the toilet. All these water consumption like 200 ml, 300 ml, and so I don't want to specify. Altogether, it is 2.5 liters are losing, because it will also vary from climatic situation. For example, in the peak summer time, you urinate a lot. You won't urinate, but more than that, you will have sweating. Okay, so a lot of water loss will be through the sweating. But in your if you are in a winter season, when you're into a cold extreme area, you will have a more of urine output. You will not sweat much. So people thinks that, I'm urinating too much, I think I should reduce the water intake. No, the body is trying to divert through. If somebody having diarrhea 10 times of passing the bowels or passing the thing, so there are a lot of water losses. That is why people are getting tired. So it is important to ensure you consume at least 2.5 to 3 liters of water every day, every 24 hours with a definite intervals. And of course, we recommend fasting. We all had it in every religion. Supposed to be fasting to have a proper health benefits. I'm not going detail about that, but if you're fasting, there is a therapeutic fasting what we normally follow here for a detox programs. Of course, juicing. There are different methods actually based on the case. We do a customization. It is very important to customize to their individual health needs, because same problem, but people are different. You cannot treat as the same way. Every patients are different. We need to. There are a lot of parameters to be calculated, and we need to arrive into a proper conclusion. So we cannot have a one-stop solution. So it need to be customized, and it should be done under the guidelines. So bullet points: low carbs, high fat, moderate protein, and maintain a healthy omega-3, omega-6 ratio, prebiotics or soluble fiber, probiotic food, herbal supplements if required only. Okay, so this is a recommendation from Ayushmat, and that's it. So thank you so much for having such a patience to go through this. So now we can just go with the some of the discussions. Yeah, can someone read out, or you can just unmute and you can start the question and answer session. Was it clear? Was it, let me know, was it useful or informative? How do you all feel?
I feel it is very informative from my side personally.
Thank you.
I do have some questions also, if the time permits and I can really ask. I want to ask.
Yes,
please,
ma'am. Please, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am, you can ask, ma'am.
Yes, sure, ma'am.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm from one part of India where we consume mustard oil a lot. So
Okay.
because it was not mentioned anywhere in your slides how the mustard oil quality is. So I'm actually curious to know if you know anything about it. And
yeah, mustard oils anyway, see, I just pointed out on the extreme sides actually. That is why vegetable oil, and I compared with this one, but they are all falling under in middle range. And of course, there are variations from the like a geological influence also. So I would also recommend once in a while, if you have it, nothing will happen, but always try to stick on to the coconut oil if you wanted to go for a deep heating process. So that alone, and ghee, butter, and all this consume. Once in a while, if you go with these other oils, it doesn't harm you, but continued consumption is not good. Especially I'm trying to convey the hotel foods, and because most of the oils, what I understand is there is a adulteration or there is a mixing of cottonseed oil also. So this is also happening a lot in the industry. So this is a thing, but mustard oil also, I'll get you the exact range, everything. You can personally get in touch. I can get you the details, not a problem.
Sure. Thank you. And I also wanted to know heating process. Your webinar is very informative, and it is an
Thank you.
add-on to the process of my search of nutrition and diet.
Okay.
So I'm greatly interested to know if I'm using any cold press oils of all these categories, whatever you showed. If I want to heat it, how it will be. I'm talking about the cold press oils, not the refined ones.
Okay. If you give me time, I will exactly the same way. I can pull out the details. I can share it about cold pressed oil. See, in this normally, what I have done now is I only because to get a clarity of this lifestyle related disease, I only taken the extremes of details. Cold pressed oils, I will get back to you on this with a proper. I can get you the proper percentage of each one. I can get you, and please get in touch with me on this one. I can just type my WhatsApp number in the chat box. So you can, if anybody has this kind of specific questions, please feel free to get in touch with me.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah. Any other questions?
Yes, please. Anyone else? Feel free to ask any doubt. Doctor is there.
I know this is a little complicated, approach, but I see my main idea is to put some seeds in your thoughts. And I want you all to research on, the authenticity of this, whatever we have discussed, So you will get a lot of clarity. And then, once you get a proper idea and then you try it out by changing this pattern of food and everything. And you see what changes is going to happen in your health. And that will be, we always say, no, health is something to be experienced, right? A wellness factor. So that is very important. So nowadays in the modern lifestyle, a lot of overwhelming of the carbohydrate is number one, actually. So if you have a heavy meals, what do you feel? You feel like sitting down for a while, you don't feel energetic, and if you have this kind of meal, you feel very energetic. And there's a lot of patients like daytime, they will be just missing out from there, they will drooping, they always have that kind of feel. Till afternoon, they are very good, but afternoon onwards, they feel very lethargic. And by the time they come home, they are totally exhausted and all those issues. Can you suggest a healthy diet plan? Yeah, that normally, see, here I have given only like a different directional ideas. See, healthy healthy meals, I will tell you, follow 2 meals a day plan. Like always try to give a rest for your digestive system for a better digestion, better assimilation, better absorption, better elimination. So always try to have like a 8 to 10 hour window. You can have keep 1 meal in the beginning, 1 meal in the last, and try to give a rest and consume a lot of water. Okay, if you're hungry or anything like the juices or soups, that's how you can run it. And always try to reduce the carbohydrate into 1 time a day. Like afternoon, you can have a carbohydrate meal. But towards the night time, always try to go with simple, like what do you call it? Very simple, light food. Okay, not with the carbohydrate. At least you can use the millets, ragi, or that kind of a simple porridge and some vegetable soups, salads, and you can see better health. Morning you will be very refreshed, and you can see all your health improving. And another tip I would like to give you is always try to, when you have a full meal, half stomach should be filled with the solid food, and quarter should be filled with the liquid food, and the quarter should be left empty for a proper digestion process. So that will help you. Don't have it too much, so that is also not a healthy one. And another tip I could give you, eat chew your food, whatever you consume, chew it nicely and make it in a liquid form before you engulf. Before you intake, you try to grind it from your mouth as much as possible. Okay, even water or a soup or juice, don't just fill it. Okay, allow the saliva to just blend with it a little while and then slowly consume it. That will help you for a better digestion process. Okay. Thank you.
Can you suggest something about newborn babies when we introduce cereals or food to them? What we can.
What is the age?
How can we?
What is the? What age you wanted to?
Usually nowadays children are supposed to be given normal food after 6 months. Till 6 months they are mother milks fed. So after that only doctor suggests to start for food. Yeah. So can you suggest something about it? How can?
See, I would suggest to continue the breastfeeding as much as possible. This is my first suggestion, as much as possible. up to 1 year or 1.5 year till at least, because that is very healthy to improve the defense mechanisms for the baby. Okay, better immune system, immune cells, so that is one of the important thing. And as you start having, definitely don't give any cereal kind of thing, like baby cereals are available in the modern market. I would suggest like the traditional way. There are like the banana from banana you make the dried banana flour. So like kurku kind of things. There's some porridge kind of thing. Those things are ideal to start with it a little bit, and try to introduce the fruit juices a little bit, and then as the baby grows, try to give as natural stuff as possible, like soups and so many other things can be little by smashed potatoes or sweet potatoes, like all these natural stuffs as much as possible start giving, because that also have the best carbohydrate in that, and you see the digestible capacity of the baby and everything. So that will be ideal actually to begin with, start introducing, and then smashed vegetables and things like that. You can slowly build it up as the baby grows off. Is that clear?
Yes, thank you. Actually, I also wanted to know, in case suppose some conditions mothers are in a situation they cannot feed the child.
Okay.
So in case the mother's feeding is left forbidden early,
Okay.
she couldn't feed the child for a year also, then
Okay.
any replacement suggested by your side, what can be given to the child in place of mother's milk?
Actually speaking, at least for example, after 6 months or something, if that is happening, and then see, there are I don't know, again need to be a little more researched on that. After 1 year, like 6 months to 1 year and all, some people used to suggest like a goat milk from the but again there are a lot of processing. You can't just give it as it is. But again, like a same age, even the new calves of goat, and a lot of other things people are suggesting. But again, you need to get the research and properly, tested and properly done. Actually, that's one replacement.
I was just thinking about one of your slide was talking about coconut, and I forgot the acid name which was present in that coconut.
Lauric acid.
It was lauric acid.
Yeah.
So it was similar to it is similar to the mother's milk.
Not
composition.
Similar actually. Yeah, not similar. You cannot. It depends on the baby. The young baby and all. You can't just give it, because the digestibility is very important. Okay. So that is why we need to customize everything. You cannot just one statement for everything is not possible. But if it is a grown-up baby, you can use it. For example, I'll tell you, coconut milk. Like if this is a baby is a little more like aged, like 1 or 2 years, all this area we can replace. Like milk of coconut can be used for the making some banana dates and all this. Like they will make a shake or something like that, porridge kind of thing. You can use it. Instead of milk, many people use the milk and then cereal and other things. Instead of that, use the coconut meal. That's a good fat actually. Okay. Those kind of applications you can use. For example, mashed potato. I think many people use the milk, right? Normal cow's milk. Instead of that, you can use the coconut milk. So those kind of replacement is possible. Yeah. Okay. And I would request you, everybody, to go to our Ayushmat. You can type Ayushmat in Google, and in that reviews will be there. I would like to add all your valuable comments on there, so that will help us to get a good feedback. So Ayushmat, Google search, and you can get our page, and the reviews, you go there and you can add your valuable inputs. That's it. Okay, and we do have Ayushmat YouTube channel, and you please subscribe, or so that we'll get some updates from that. And also the Instagram and Facebook page, everywhere we are there available. And keep in touch with us anytime you need any kind of discussion needed, most welcome. You can text me on WhatsApp and I can be in touch with you. I can guide you from my limited knowledge. I'll be able to, help you.
Can I ask one last question?
Please, please.
As this is very visible to everyone that nowadays the lifestyle is having very low physical activities in our day-to-day life. So with that, what will be more suitable? Whether we can use these healthy oils in excess, how people are using frying things, puri and all, or should have a low consumption only?
See, two ways you can tackle this. One, reduce the consumption of like a hotel food and other things. So major, culprits. And don't go for the excess usage of bakery foods. Okay. Don't go for the packed food. There are so many things I know that 2 minutes you will be able to make a food, right? A lot of like a lot of other things. Those category things, try to avoid it as much as possible. Okay. And if you want to fry anything or if you want to do anything, you can do it using the coconut oil. You can make a chips or whatever the things. And also try to reduce the consumption. For example, once a month you have a cheat day, you enjoy, not a problem, nothing will happen to you. But if you are having it in everyday business, a lot of people like they're mandatory, like biscuits and everything, morning tea or evening tea, they will have at least 2. So, but every day that matters a lot. And sugar, they always replace with sugar-free sugar. No? So all these things are actually is not good. So try to stick on to the freshly prepared food always. Don't even reheat any food. For example, many people I know that because of the lack of time, they prepare something and they will keep it for 2-3 days. That's a highly dangerous one. So don't do all this reheating kind of cooking, and try to go with the less carbohydrate. Okay, that's very important. You have always the 50-50 proportion at least. Okay, so increase the quantity of all your side, for example, poriyal or vegetables, or make one salad, and then so increase the quantity of the side and reduce the quantity of the rice. Okay, and evening try to go with the millets at least. Evening, like there are like a pearl millet and the quinoa, and a lot of other millets are available, ragi and all those. You make anything out of that, like a ragi kuttu, ragi dosha, ragi idli. You can make anything out of that. Okay, the content is matters. And always have one soup if possible. Always have a soup along the food. Okay, so what will happen? You will not overeat anything. And biryani and all this kind of stuff, once in a while you enjoy, not a problem. Don't suppress yourself, but make sure that it is not into everyday business. Like everyday, like we are ordering from outside, all those kind of excess, that should not happen. That is a one major thing, because hotel foods are dangerous one in daily consumption. And don't use any vegetable oils in your kitchen. Try to replace with this, and try to replace your salt also. Always use the Himalayan salt. They are rich in magnesium, 85 rich minerals, and they are healthy. Replace it with that. And for example, when you cook, normally everybody put a lot of salt and cook, and towards the end you will realize that there's a deficiency. Again, you add it. So add the salt towards the end of the cooking, because it's only to bypass your tongue, right? Excess usage of the salt is also not healthy. It is something very important. Everybody BP, high blood pressure, and a lot of other related issues, and all the pickle and all the processed items are also rich in salt, high salt. So try to avoid all this papad and other things. Once in a while, no problem, but not to everyday basis. And have a lot of salads, fresh fruits. Be only on a fruits, like a breakfast, be only on a fruits. And sometimes you do, like a Hindu Ekadasi and a lot of other things. Those kind of way, don't make it a routine like a 3 meals a day, that kind of thing. Listen to your body. Your body gives you some of the signals. When you are not well, you will see, you don't feel, when you are feverish, you don't feel like eating, right? You will see some coating in the tongue, the white patches and things. That means there, don't put anything. There's body is working on something. So try to give rest. Okay, be on a liquid diet or semi-solid or something. Give the rest for the system. So that's very important. Balancing your thing, and try to reduce the over dumping of any unwanted things to your system. For example, I'll tell you, the more you put all the excess calorie unwanted, anything comes to the body will have to process it, right? So give the less one with a good nutrition, so the body function better. Because whatever you have, the high calorie and excess carbs, everything body has to process it, right? So you are getting on fat, okay? It's a reservoir for you. So you are not giving a chance for your body to utilize it, okay? We are always, every meal we are excess, okay? What will happen? Body will try to store it as a fat. So that thing you need to get a balance. So that's why at least, one meal a day, go with the carbs, no problem. But 3 times meals not advice. This is what a bit of advice from my side. And you try it out yourself, how your body feels. And I'll tell you what is happening in the modern life, 3 time meals, all the junk food, and you're habituated. If you're missing your 1 o'clock meal on time, your hands start shivering. And you are, helpless. You are like very sweating, or you feel very tired, and you're dropping the energy levels, and you'll be craving for the food. So that means there's an addiction. So that addiction should not happen. So try to get a detachment from that. Okay, even if you don't have food on that particular time, make sure you have food, so that because we are being conditioned for this. There's a conditional reflex. Pavlov's pouch, you heard about, you can research Pavlov's pouch, what the experiment. Okay, we all been conditioned actually. 1 o'clock lunch, it's 8 o'clock dinner, and breakfast. So if you miss that, you will get a headache, or if you get a lot of problems. So try to get out of that. That's very important. That means then you can start seeing some changes in the body. Okay, don't get into an addiction factor. What will happen, I'll tell you, if you don't have the food on that time, you have a backup storage. There is something called glycogen storage in your liver. They can give you the energy source up to 18-20 hours. That's how our body designed. And 1 gram of fat can give you 9 calories. You see how many kgs of fat in your body. Even a leanest person have a lot of fat storage in the body. So they will source the energy. But what will happen? We should keep drinking. If you're hungry in the afternoon, you don't get anything, make sure you have some water. Okay, just drink the water sip by sip. After a little while, you'll subside the hunger, and body will pull out the energy from the source from the glycogen. Okay, and you have a lot of dead cells in the body, decayed cells, deformed cells, and a lot of glycated things. They are all made of energy, but they are not in the functional aspects. There is something called autophagy. You should research. So we are all doing a fasting therapy and all. So that will be kick-started during the fasting time and all. Autophagy, okay, self-eating. There's a recycling bin in your cellular level, okay. In your cell, there is something called lysosome. It's an organelle, and they're acting as a recycling processing unit. Okay, so all the dead cells, all unwanted, all these things will be converted into energy. Okay, so like a lot of mechanism we have it. So what will happen? It's something like cleansing your body, detoxing your body. So that is why I've told you, always have a 8-hour window or 10-hour window for a eating window, and have at least 14 to 16 hours of window for the resting. So where the body, if required, the energy is required, body will try to utilize the stored energy. Okay, and also body will get a proper. See, there is a, for example, in your kitchen, if you prepare a salad, after you make a salad plate, you will see a lot of waste, right? Which need to be put into garbage and need to be cleared out from your kitchen, right? Something like that in our body also, in the metabolism, there are a lot of residues happening. So it is your duty to help reduce the excess, residues. Okay, give more of nutritive one. Of course, there is a mechanism for your body to process everything. But if it is given overburden, for example, you are in the kitchen, you make morning breakfast, lunch, dinner, everything, and then you are totally rested. The next day you will be back to energy after you sleep well, and you are back to energy and you are able to do everything. And imagine if you are continuing a job 24 hours, even in dinner over again, midnight, like 11 o'clock or 2 o'clock or 5 o'clock, or you're engaged with the kitchen work. How long you can work? No, it's not possible. So there's another side of the coin. So it is all important for you to balance. This is what my main piece of advice. I always recommend to have a balance. Enjoy your modern life. We don't, deny from be only healthy, be only natural, nothing like that. It's a modern world. We need to enjoy everything. And our body is very powerful. Body has a mechanism. Everything is there. But have a balance. That's all about it. Okay. And again, one more tip I forgot to tell you. Before you sleeping, always keep 3 hours interval after your last meal and your sleep. Okay. Don't have food and just go for the sleep. It's not a healthy habit. Okay. And that's it. I think taken a lot of time. It's almost about to 9, 10 to 9. So thank you so much. Anything else? So please be in touch. My details I have given. Please requesting everybody to go to iSmart Google page and add all your valuable inputs there, valuable rating. And also please go and subscribe our YouTube channel. Okay. And you can also feel free to WhatsApp me anytime. I'll be able to get you whatever the information you needed from my best knowledge. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much once again. And anything else, ma'am? Can I?
Anyone is having any doubts or
Yeah.
questions?
The time for an interaction. If anyone is having doubt, you can ask. No? Okay.
I hope everybody understood, because I know that this time everyone will have a lot of confusions. Actually, this is what will happen after this session, because I have put some seeds in you. I want you to research each one, thoughts. I want you to work on with that and find your own way to health. It is possible, and we are more passionate to transform someone's health into an optimum site. So this is our passion. Myself and my wife, Dr. Satheesh. So we both were, been practicing more than 14 years. So we always educate people. Doctor as a teacher. It's very important, because health is not a one-point solution. It is a physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, and social. That's how the WHO also given the definition of health. Okay, so we must achieve that optimum health. So for that, you are the right person to work for your own health as a preventive care, and especially the first result of your health concern. Of course, for anything, especially lifestyle related diseases I'm talking about, not for the other thing. Of course, we are very blessed with all the modern, all the facilities and all the drugs and so many things. There is so many things that we have. We're all blessed with it, and it's very important. And it's something that a lot of life-saving drugs and everything. But as a first resort, especially for the lifestyle related diseases, because we are the byproduct of our food what we eat. So you understood what I mean. So it is your duty and responsibility. And your health is your business, to be frank. It is an open statement. Your health is your business, not anyone else's business. So let us take the responsibility for health, and let us invest our own time for our health, for a better optimum health. Okay, so that's all about health. It is a vast subject. A lot, actually, it needs to be customized to the individual health needs. So, but it is definite. You can all have a very healthy life way forward. Okay, wishing you all the very best. And any doubts, anytime, 24 hours, I'm available. Okay, as soon as I become free, I can, get in touch with you for any health individual.
Sure, sir.
So thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, so I would like to invite Shakila ma'am for giving vote of thanks.
Thank you, Sabita ma'am. I deem it's a great honor and privilege for me to propose the vote of thanks on this occasion. It was a memorable occasion. First of all, I would like to thank today's special guest, Dr. Satheesh Babu, who carried out his mission, improve health and quality of life for those who seek solutions beyond medicine. Thank you so much, sir, for spending your valuable time with us.
Thank you. It's my passion and pleasure. And a lot of other things also. Maybe in the future, we could have another session with acid-alkaline balance and how it is influenced by our eating the food, which is the
Yes,
balance, which will
Yes,
keep you
sure.
optimum health. Okay.
sure, sir. And I would like to thank our Baba sir, always motivating us to conduct this kind of quality-based webinars. Thank you so much, founder of NCDC, Baba Alexander sir. And I would like to thank our Focus Fairy leaders, our Jyoti ma'am, and today's program coordinator, Mrs. Sabita Ranjit. And today's anchor, our Tapsi ma'am, and prayer song by our Indu ma'am. Those students, they also participated today's webinar, and all the participants who marked their presence here. And their participation, the interactive session also valuable for us. And please, all my viewers, all our viewers, please keep in touch. And thank you so much, each and everyone present here. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Shakila ma'am. So shall we wind up our session?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.